food and great colors and the foliage of Western North Carolina. Bring your pets, bring your friends, because it's the championship game of the Camping World Maui Invitational. We've come here with two teams, Texas and North Carolina. Jericho Sims, the freshman Greg Brown for Texas, and the senior leader from Norfolk, Matt Coleman. Meantime, for North Carolina, Leaky Black had the game winner yesterday. Caleb Love's been outstanding, and Garrison Brooks, the ACC preseason player of the year. Getting ready, it's our Camping World Maui Invitational, and Bill Walton is back for the championship. Jason Benetti, you ready for this?
Ranger, I have taken the plunge. I'm playing without a net. I'm in the dark here, and I'm ready to pace the halls and climb the walls here and see just what kind of performance we're going to get out of these two teams here in this championship moment, when you have the opportunity to determine the fate of the upcoming world here. And Texas has tremendous guard play. They have the whole team back from last year, plus they added Greg Brown. But you got Matt Coleman, Andrew Jones, Courtney Ramey for Texas. You got Garrison Brooks inside, Caleb Love, RJ Davis. This is going to be a spectacular competition head-to-head. Who can play offense? Who's in shape? 3 games, 3 days. Let's go. Hall of Fame coach Roy Williams in his hometown, 365 Reed Street. I'm not sure that's named after J.R. Reed. And then you've got Shaka Smart. Comet in his own right, but much younger than the 70-year-old Coach Roy Williams. Let's see what you got, Texas. You've had great success in recent past against the North Carolina Tar Heels, winning 8 out of the last 9 head-to-head competition there. I never would have guessed that coming in, but that's why we do research. That's why we play the game.
And we are ready for this championship game of the Camping World Maui Invitational. North Carolina has been one of the gems of this tournament, winning it 4 times, trying for number 5. Texas has never won a Maui Invitational title, and off we go. It's Carolina first.
The embers of the campfire have been spread thin. There's nothing left to do but smile, celebrate, and deliver an offensive attack that's unstoppable. That's a traveling violation, please.
It's on Garrison Brooks for North Carolina.
Garrison, when you come into the middle like that, always be pounding them down toward the baseline to create your opening in the middle. The middle is where you want to go ultimately.
Jericho Sims was pushed into the backcourt off the deflection, so Texas will keep it. You talked about those great guards. Here is Greg Brown, the freshman, an opening 3 off the back of the iron, and he's got his own rebound.
Time for Greg Brown to have a huge game here. He's been relatively quiet. He's just getting started. Incredible potential. This towering front line. Garrison Brooks, Dayron Sharp, fabulous. Armando Baycott. Walker Kessler off the bench. Howell, the shorter but more experienced Longhorns. Handle this cattle drive.
The Longhorns were 66-44 winners yesterday, and they have a steal this time with Brown. On the gas pedal, Brown. And no call.
Good. It's a championship. Whistles belong in the referee's pockets.
Brooks, and there's a foul on Jericho Sims. You think no call here?
Let him play, please. This is the best of the best. That's no foul. This is the championship, please.
So Garrison Brooks to the free throw line, the senior out of the state of Alabama.
Garrison has been wearing these goggles.
Yep.
He's been wearing these goggles for a while. He's been scratched in the eye a whole bunch of times. And so they're making him wear the goggles. He doesn't like it. Nobody who's ever worn the goggles has ever liked it. But believe me, Garrison, stick with it. Kareem did okay with it. He made the adjustments. So did James Worthy. So did Moses Malone. Your eyes are more important. You are the eyes of the world.
Kurt Rambis didn't like it.
Those were prescription glasses.
Oh, there's a difference, you're saying.
These are protective glasses. And with a lot of the taller players, your face, your eyes are at the outstretched reach and limits of these little guards who are always trying to run around underneath your legs and poke that ball away from you. That's why
you've got poked in the eye, you're saying.
I'd warn him myself.
There's a two for R.J. Davis, freshman out of White Plains.
I got my face broken by my own teammate when I was blocking his man's shot. My teammate stumbled into Michael Brooks of the Clippers in LaSalle, one of the great scorers in the history of college basketball.
Foul on Leaky Black there. That was unintentional, you're saying. They broke your face.
Well, he stumbled back into the play that I had already smothered on the defensive rotation. That's called team defense, right?
Brown's coming off.
Texas has got to get going offensively. You can't start this game. I mean, you're 2 minutes in and you've yet to score. Not really quite sure if they've had a good shot attempt. This is where Matt Coleman has to come alive. He's a big-time player who's been a star throughout the week.
Brother Chase, a tremendous player at Virginia, as well as a foul called on the drive by Andrew Jones. We told you about Andrew Jones in the first game, this being V-Week. Andrew Jones fighting through leukemia in order to play college basketball, and healthy now and ready to go. Added about 15 pounds this offseason, and such a prideful young man and such a hard-working young man to get back on the court and enjoy life as he does.
Good luck, Andrew. All about health. Enjoy the fact that you can put on 15 pounds. I do that per meal.
I don't believe that's true. You're a pretty slender fella.
Please, you had your eyes checked recently. Beautiful move by Garrison.
And he got it to go.
Shades of Akeem Olajuwon, who used to play in Texas for Houston. He's not counted among the international players who were drafted #1. There's been 2 overall #1 draft picks from the international ranks. Who are they? Ranger? That's you. Yao
I know that.
Well, if you knew it, why didn't you say it? And so Bargnani from Italy.
Andrea Bargnani.
Yes.
Do you have music playing in the background?
I thought that was the ambiance from the gym.
Caleb Love for 3. That's no good. You always say have the music on always, right? So I figured it was you.
Well, you don't have the Zoom button on your control panel?
I don't.
You have a control panel, I'm sure.
I do.
Beautiful
I'm questioning if you do. Jones for 3.
Best offensive sequence here of the day. You ever been to Irving, Texas?
I have been to Irving, Texas, yeah.
You've been in the old Cowboy Stadium there. Tom Landry.
I've not been. I've driven by. I've not been to the old stadium, as that's a throwaway. Carolina will get it back.
So Tom Landry, who went to the University of Texas, but Andrew Jones able to penetrate, to dish. Everybody getting involved here. The team game. That's what we're going to see from Texas the whole way. That's what you're always going to see from Shaka Smart.
Davis, the miss, the follow is there. Second chance for Baycott.
Well, the power, I mean, across this front line for Roy Williams, 6'10", Brooks, 6'11", Sharp, 6'10", Baycott, 7'1", Kessler. Another timeout. So early in the game, it's the championship. Wow, this is our second game, though. Garrison, Brooks with the whirling dervish, shake and bake Akeem Olajuwon, Houston Cougars. And then the pursuit of the ball. Armando Baycott, too strong, and the umbrella ride, yes.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Camping World.
Final appearance for the Texas Longhorns in their 5th overall Maui. North Carolina, this is their 8th Maui. They've been in this final 7 different times, 4 titles. They're chasing the Duke Blue Devils, their neighboring rivals. And every time that North Carolina wins the Maui tournament, they go on to win the NcaaA tournament as well. 3 of those under Roy Williams, the current coach, and also with Bill Guthridge. who did an excellent job in the short period of time there in the gap. Sort of like the bridge show that I think Bruce Hornsby anchored in between our two games today, but the way that Guthridge anchored it between Dean Smith and Roy Williams.
Can you name the 4 North Carolina MVPs of the Maui Invitational?
Of the Maui Invitational? Well, it would not be Michael Jordan. He didn't play. I don't believe he played in the...
He did not.
Okay, I'm going to take a line from you and get back to you real quick. How about Raymond Felton?
Correct.
Ty Lawson?
Correct.
Joel Berry?
Yes.
Oh, okay, and Joe Forte. Or is it
the more
Fort?
You know.
I'm not sure.
It's Forte.
As we learned in the first show, the more you know, the more you suffer.
Kai Jones called for the foul. Kessler to the free throw line, and he missed the first one. The freshman out of Newman, Georgia.
So I got to clear something up real quick on the North Carolina side. I got yelled out by Emily Kirshner because I said on the air yesterday that Steve had stopped calling me back, and so her dad did not get the call. So Emily, please, your dad is one of the true saints of circumstance in our world. So
tremendous
you got to cut him some slack. You got to cut him some slack, Emily, because he worked super hard. We don't have the normal capabilities of communication and interaction. Know that your dad loves you, even though he's not there today. He's up in Asheville, and you're back at home. So thank you for your concern, and thank you for looking out for all of us. But Steve Kirshner, that guy, he's on top of things.
This is Gerald Liddell for 2 and a foul.
Okay, so we saw this last night from Walker Kessler, who's just a young guy from Georgia, Newman, Georgia. Is that Paul or Alfred E? And so, but Walker is trying to block shots by backing up and using his length and his size and his arm reach, which are immense, of course. But you got to go out on the floor and meet the attacker outside of where he's going to jump from if you're going to be a shot blocker.
How do you best use your size as somebody that big?
To take up space. You know, basketball is like real estate. It's location, location. It's not about size and strength. It's about skill, timing, and position. And so your ability, and this is where Kareem and Wilt and Shaq were just incredible, the biggest of the big guys, Yao Ming. They covered so much area with their size. It wasn't just that they were big. I mean, there's been plenty of big guys. But if you're big and a really top-level basketball player, as all those other guys were, then you have basically an insurmountable advantage. But if you just rely on your size and strength, what are you going to do when Shaq shows up? What are you going to do when Yao Ming shows up? Have a game. And this guy's, he's got a real chance, Kessler.
Greg Brown missed the first free throw. You see the bio on Brown, a freshman out of Vandergrift High School, local product out of Austin, after moving to Austin when he was 10 to live with his father, the former safety at Texas.
Yeah, I think it's a little unfair to talk about his parents like being on the team. They were basically the team. These are two of the great athletes in the history of UT. One of the most successful athletic programs ever. Never more so than at the bank.
Coleman thought about a three. Instead, he slices down the lane. Second chance for Jericho Sims, and he's walled off.
Jericho, ramble on. Pace the halls, climb the walls. Let's go, Jericho.
Leaky Black had it taken away. Up and down we go, just like you like it. Texas, North Carolina in this championship game of the Maui Invitational by Camping World 2020. Coleman.
Coleman.
No.
That's okay. Let it go. Your game will come. You're not going to make every single one of them. And if you're Texas, you've got to play a speed game here. You're not going to win the bang-bang game. Garrison Brooks is just too big. Sharp, Baycott, Kessler backing him up. Movement,
even for
skill.
Sims and Brown, you think?
Yes. So
on the rebound, 2 shots coming for Baker.
I have not had the privilege of standing next to these guys. You know, I like to size them up the same way that Roy goes onto all their homes there and look at them, look at their parents and meet them and see if they're of the caliber that can come and put on this traditional, historical, monumental, epic uniform for North Carolina. We don't get to do that in this age of COVID. Everything is Zoom, everything is virtual. So I'm seeing these guys for the first time. You can see that Garrison Brooks is a stud. You can see that Walker Kessler is just a mammoth pillar. I mean, he's basically like Morro Rock, either in Morro Bay or in Sequoia National Park. But the other guys for Texas, they don't stand out physically.
Well, Sims is a pretty big dude as he steps out there, and they're going to get a whistle against Jericho Sims.
But that's by the measurement. It's not how big you are, it's how big you play. And so I'm always amazed when coming into a game, I hear these reports, oh, this is the greatest player, this guy's unbelievable. I watch the game and I say, which one was he? I never said that. I never said that about Kareem or Wilt or Shaq or Yao Ming or Michael Jordan or LeBron James or Dr. J. You knew who those guys were regardless of what the stats said, regardless of what their measurements were. Please, Ranger.
Jones missed
We're in a privileged position there.
Foul. I am.
I love this yes, you're a member of the Blue Ridge Rangers and you're riding again. You didn't listen to the story from Bruce Hornsby in the first game. One of the epic interviews of all time.
A tremendous storyteller. Jones missed the 3 again.
So Texas is missing all these wide open shots, and they're still in this game.
Because of their defense, don't you think?
No, because North Carolina hasn't been scoring themselves.
Maybe because of the defense. Brooks for 2 and a foul. It's Carolina by 3.
Everybody plays defense. Who can play offense? Who can fill it up? There's no coincidence that the greatest offensive players are the ones that write the history and win the championships.
Your eye as you watch the
He
story of
looks
Andrew
so
Jones.
good in that uniform, making everybody proud. Join the fight against cancer at v.org/donate. Do what you can, and remember the difference between helping and sacrificing. Let's go.
What's
He's
the
done a great
between
job.
those two?
Between helping and sacrificing?
Yes, indeed.
Helping is when you just do something because you can. Sacrifice is when you give up something that's going to really impact you. And if you have 1 billion t-shirts and you give 5 of them away, I mean, that's helping. If you have 1 billion t-shirts and you give 995 million of them away, that's sacrifice, because then you only have 5 million left.
Andrew Jones on the Texas sideline. That's a drive for 2. Easy for Matt Coleman.
Matt Coleman continues to be the star. When he rolls, this Texas Stampede and Cattle Drive, they're really good. They have played, Texas has played superb basketball throughout this tournament. And they should be most grateful to the people of North Carolina. Because when Texas was up against it, when they were starting their own revolution in 1836, I mean, they put the call out for help and volunteers, and tons of people from North Carolina went to Texas. 9 people from North Carolina died at the Alamo. Texas has 9 counties in the state of Texas that are named for North Carolinians. More died at Goliad, but then things turned around. The Battle of Jacinto. The rest is history.
Is that the same location where San Jacinto Community College is located, the baseball powerhouse?
No, well,
they call it San Jacinto at the community college.
No, it's Jacinto. J in Spanish is with an H.
That's what I thought, like Jardín.
Like La Jolla.
Right.
Like Mount San Jacinto, which is the mountain that makes Palm Springs what it is. Beautiful
No follow
over the
there
top
for Dayron
pass.
Sharp.
Dayron Sharp has just been spectacular. Only a freshman from Greenville, North Carolina. Did we ever figure out how many different states have a Greenville in it?
Well, at least North and South Carolina. There's got to be more.
Well, how about Green Rivers? You know, Ranger. You know, Fogarty sings Green River too.
Tonight I'll be looking out my back door at these two games on the ESPN app, 7 Eastern time, West Virginia and Gonzaga in the Jimmy B.
Look at all the happy
presented by
people
Corona.
dancing on the lawn. Sonic Blockbuster followed up tonight. Illinois and Baylor will be there. Gonzaga, excuse me. Timothy Egan, Mark Few, Children of the Sun. Magnificent scheduling by the Gonzaga athletic department. They'll go anywhere and play anybody who's willing to play them and get their hat handed to them.
Well, think about it. I mean, it's been 20 plus years they've become a powerhouse after the Matt Santangelo, Richie Fromm days.
Are they going to wait until Mark Few is dead before they put him in the Hall of Fame? Please. I don't understand this. I know Tom Penders is going into the College Hall of Fame this year. Well deserved, long overdue.
Second chance there for Texas, and a foul on the crash in by Kai Jones.
Crossover, left to right. Number 3 in the program, Andrew Leaky Black. Number 1 in your heart. This is the guy that won the game last night.
Foul called against Carolina and Garrison Brooks. Do you sense
if you discount the referee's impact?
Well, do you sense the Texas guards are sort of feeling the bigs for Carolina as they drive?
If you're going to drive in, I'm not looking to feel them. I'm looking to draw them and then kick it to somebody who's standing wide open. That's where the creativity is. I mean, it's going to be very tough for these guards from Texas to hit runners in the lane. That's the kind of shot. Matt Coleman again.
So Texas takes the lead 16-15, more than halfway through the first half, and a great half as that one rings off the backboard from Caleb Love, who was outstanding yesterday against Stanford. Coleman.
Again.
Another
again. Player of the tournament so far. Now we're early on. The winner of this game is going to contribute the player of the tournament. Could be Love. Could be Matt Coleman.
Or Brock Cunningham for 3 after a career day yesterday. Ed's son, Brock Cunningham, has a 3rd straight 3 for Texas.
Offense, finally, the lights all shining on me. Colors in the street, red, white, and orange. Did you ticket him last night for smiling on a cloudy day, or what was the deal there with Brock Cunningham, the 6'5" sophomore from Austin?
Well, his father, Ed, a longtime offensive lineman at Texas and longtime color analyst for ESPN. Brock was great yesterday.
In
6
what sport?
points, 11 rebounds. Football.
In what sport? In football. This is not Sam Cunningham's son, is it? Sam Cunningham's from Santa Barbara and went to USC. This is Ed Cunningham, you say, offensive lineman or defensive?
That's correct.
Lineman?
Offensive line.
Which offensive lineman? That's what my brother Bruce played. As an All-America for UCLA and for the Dallas Cowboys. Super Bowl participant.
I have a question for you. For North Carolina with Texas,
you don't have to ask. You don't have to tell me. Okay. So what's
I was just getting you ready. I was priming you for it. Who will stop the rain defensively for Carolina?
For North Carolina, you're not going to stop those threes if you're going to allow penetration. So if I'm North Carolina, I just say man up here. And don't worry about any defensive strategy. Just guard your man. We got Garrison Brooks inside who's going to be able to send anything back. And what he doesn't take care of, Dayron Sharp is going to take care of, or Kessler or Baycott. Perimeter guys, stay at home.
Puff Johnson on the floor for North Carolina, and a train wreck leads to an out of bounds with 2 to shoot.
A train wreck, Casey Jones. You ever been in a train wreck? Oh my gosh.
I have, well, actually, maybe.
Terrifying. Coco. Is his name Coco or Puff?
His name's Puff, and it's a shot clock violation for Carolina. What's your favorite cereal? Puff Johnson, named after Cocoa Puffs.
Granola. I'm a granola guy.
That's shocking.
But Puff he's got a brother in the NBA who played at UNC. Cameron. Started at Pittsburgh, up there where Sean Miller went to college. Sean Miller from Arizona in the Conference of Champions. His brother Archie, team won 3rd place. It all rolls into one.
Oh, big block at the rim by Sharp for North Carolina. Matt Coleman down on the other end. It's 5-on-4 here. Coleman back. Oh, isn't he?
I like the spirit and fire that Texas is playing with here.
Oh, they double onto Sharp. Nicely done by Ramey.
Now, on the other hand, Texas is going to have to double down on the big guys for North Carolina. And all North Carolina can do right now is take it out of the net, and their offenses disappear. How about going inside to Harrison Brooks? 3-point line, not the strength of his game, nor should it be.
A.J. Smith has checked in as Brooks gets to the rim, gets a second opportunity and scores.
Too big, too strong. Look at those shoulders. Look at that power. Look at that posture. That is Bruce Hornsby. Erect, perfect as can be. That Mike Breen, did he play today?
Mike Breen did not play. Bang! Here's the contact.
Wow. Now that is a great defensive play by Day'Ron Sharp. And Coleman just landed very awkwardly. Walking like me there. Huh. That's why the little guys should not go in against people like Day'Ron Sharp.
Well, see, you're trying to dissuade the guards, but they have gumption. They need to get to the rim for Texas to win, don't you think?
You have to be smart, though. When you're going to drive in against a big like that, drive right into his chest and then just turn around and lay it back to somebody who's in the big gap that you just created. You don't have to shoot that ball. You heard about the team game, right? And creativity.
Yeah. Jones driving kick. Cunningham. Kai Jones wanted to read it.
Now that's the
instead.
team game right there. Courtney Ramey, who made the game winner in the opening night. When Texas beat David, it was one of the opening nights that they had out there.
That was opening night, yeah. First night the premiere.
Hit the game winner. It's kind of becoming a blur.
Kinda.
Crimson, white, and indigo. Whoa, now we've got some offense going. Both teams heating up.
Kerwin Walton for 3, the freshman out of Hopkins, Minnesota.
How many great players have come from the Twin Cities of late? I mean, you look around the country, you look in the NBA, time after time coming from Minnesota. I do not believe that Kerwin and I are directly related.
Well, see, Kai Jones for 3. I would challenge that because Kerwin Walton is both a badminton player and an artist, and I feel like those are qualities you may have.
I don't like to hit birdies. I love birds. And there are 91 different species of birds in the Pisgah, at least. Push the ball, Longhorns. Come on, you're on a cattle drive. Water's in your sight. Drink deeply.
Jones
got
fouled on the way in.
Texas is playing a beautiful, masterful offensive game here. Skill, ball movement. Ramey, the ball comes up to the top. Swing it to the weak side. Let it fly. Courtney Ramey, one of the 3 Longhorn perimeter stars.
Kai Jones, the Bahamian, with the 3 on the other end. The Longhorn wearing number 22 for his 4 siblings.
In the season? Okay. So I'm old enough to remember Wilt would do that in a game. I think Wilt went 3 or 4 games in a row without missing a shot. We'll have to get the stat crew on that. Wow.
What was Wilt Chamberlain like on the floor, for those who didn't see him?
On and off the court, he was just one of these incredible human beings. He was like Santa Claus. He just liked to make people happy and never discount anything that Wilt ever said or did, because he could do whatever he wanted to do. When Wilt retired, he had like, I don't know, maybe 123 NBA records. They've expanded the record book, and his records now are just a staggering number, incalculable, immeasurable by factors and exponents that cannot be deciphered. Whoa, there's a...
That's Coleman on the foul, flashing into the picture.
I first came to be Wilt's friend when I was 16 years old. I started playing against NBA players when I was 14.
Where?
And Wilt in San Diego when the Rockets came as an expansion team. And I had a key to the high school gym. And we had the best gym in town. And so they all wanted to play all the time, whether it was Pat Riley, Jim from Oregon. Who's the Warriors broadcaster? I can't think of his name right now. But John Block,
Fitzgerald,
coaches. No, it'll come to me. And then quickly Elvin Hayes, Rudy Tomjanovich, Calvin Murphy, Jack McMahon, Pete Newell, Tex Winter, Alex Hannum. I had the dream.
Foul called on the defense inside against Liddell for shoving out the Carolina player.
Nurse, run that play back. Run that play back by the high post feed. The one that leads to this play. Not that play, that's just a great runner on the lane offensively, but the way that Garrison Brooks feeds the post there. Garrison number 15. When he plays that high post position, if he keeps a little tighter footwork, he'll be able to deliver that ball quicker. Offensive foul here, Garrison.
No, they got a timeout, I think, with Brooks on the floor. His goggles came off.
He's getting up quicker than Nate Robinson did.
What would it take to get you into the UFC octagon?
Nothing. His ankle. We can only hope that young Garrison is all right there. He's the leader of the team. He's going to have to go backstage behind the black curtain. I've been behind that black curtain. That's where it goes down.
With you. That's a moving screen against Liddell. The left ankle here. Oh, he lands
on his Kessler's foot a little bit. When you're like me and have had 39 orthopedic operations, you don't have ankles anymore. I mean, there's still the stump of my foot down there. At least I still have those, but nothing bends down there anymore.
So you're ankle free.
I try to be free as I can be. I'd rather have ankles.
Kessler got
jump ball
and tie up. Yep.
Oh my gosh.
That was the most celebratory jump ball in human history. I'm glad to have been here for it.
I'm the lucky one. Again, come on, that ball was never held. Just because you touch the ball doesn't make it a jump ball. Beautiful play, Greg Brown.
He'll go to the line when we come back.
Greg Brown working his way into this one. The Texas Longhorns. Here we are. Colors in the night. Red, white, and blue. People sleeping.
Thank you, sir. Texas.
And sometimes the songs that we sing are just songs of our own. And with the Danny and Sean team talking about turnovers, we're going to go now to the 3-ball for Texas. And the Longhorns are shooting long balls out here. And they're getting these shots without dumping it inside. The front court has been very, very solid, but not the creativity that we expect to create those wide open threes. I'm not sure why the defense for North Carolina is just not manning up and staying on who they've got. And so
to help feed the nation is why Camping World and Plating Change, with Plating Change 3 for 3, every 3-point field goal made, Camping World donates $3,000 to provide free meals to those in need. Money goes to organizations in Maui and our friends there that's focused on feeding the hungry, and then also built to restaurants in each school's local community.
One of the great initiatives ever, Camping World, standing tall. And as any great leader, taking responsibility for people who are up against it right now. But was up against it, the North Carolina Tar Heels. The turnover story. They had 24 turnovers last night against Stanford in a game they won. So here's a situation. They had not had that many turnovers in a victory since 2012 in the Sweet 16 game against the University of Ohio. Wow.
Caleb Love, no. Second chance,
There's
yes, for North Carolina. Dayron Sharp.
Determination. He's been their best front court player. And we had a sideline report on Garrison Brooks' injury.
We have not yet, but he's sitting at the table ready to come back in.
What a great job Holly Rowe did last night in that Kansas-Kentucky game.
Oh, she's outstanding.
Whoa,
Cunningham, no.
Well, our show doesn't really lend itself to sideline reporting.
You don't think so? You don't think there's time? Black for 3, Leaky Black from the corner. Foot on the line, actually. It's a 2.
The Blue Ridge Rangers, they need their horses watered and fed and walked.
You want me to take care of that for them? By the way, we heard the studio update. We got an update from Florida Army earlier, and Kevin Brown, our colleague, was calling that game. He texted me because he has a note for you that there was a sonic boom over New York last night, and he wants to know if you were involved in that.
No, I was involved in those in San Diego. We have them all the time. San Diego, the largest military installation for the United States. And we're very proud of our military here in San Diego and the great job that they do for us constantly. And so we live with sonic booms. And those of us who have been here for our entire lives, I'm 68 now, we know when they're coming. So we try to get out there and try to get inside of them. It's like being inside of that gel, that moisture-absorbing gel that the University of Texas has created to water plants. By taking
that's what happened.
Water and moisture out of the atmosphere. That's what happens.
Leaky Black for 2. It's an 11-point game. The Longhorns by 11 here in the first half. As Matt Coleman has been outstanding. Brown for 3. He got it.
Perfect. Who called a timeout here? He just made a 3. They're going to call a timeout after they make a 3? Please.
Hey, tomorrow, Legends Classic doubleheader on ESPN and the app UConn USC 7 Eastern 4 Pacific. Then Florida takes on Boston College in Bubbleville at Mohegan Sun in Connecticut, Thursday, 9:30 Eastern time.
In the last 21 years, what school has won the most NCAA men's basketball championships?
In the last 21 years, North Carolina.
Yes. No, UConn, please. 4.
You said yes first.
I know what I said. I said no.
We'll have to take your first answer like Sajak. Ramey to Brown. No. Rebound out of bounds, and it's going to be North Carolina basketball.
So who's coaching UConn now? It went from Jim Calhoun. Then they had Kevin Ollie, right? But isn't it Danny Hurley now?
Danny Hurley now. Hurley
now is not his entire last name. It's just Hurley.
That's correct. There's no hyphen there.
But you never know these days. Some guys show up with 6 different names.
Free throw, no free throws coming, no contact there in the rebound for Texas.
Ty Jones has been everywhere. As fine a performance as we've seen out of the Bahamas since Michael Thompson and Rick Fox. 2 completely different players, but outstanding teammates, human beings, and champions. Our heart goes out to the Thompson family with Clay's knee injury.
Oh, certainly a huge loss for the basketball community.
A huge loss for him.
Out of bounds, this will be North Carolina basketball.
So things change for North Carolina when Garrison Brooks goes to the bench. And he's back in now. Where is his goggles? So somebody's got them. There they are, right
there. They are. They're in his hands.
Okay. He should give Kareem a call. Or James Worthy. James Worthy, he went to the University of North Carolina. Gave one of the great Hall of Fame speeches ever.
Can you recite it for us verbatim?
I can tell you the general summary of it.
Okay.
When James was a young boy, he had two older brothers. And here he was, sitting in one room of the house of the family home in Gastonia, and he overheard his parents talking in the other room in the kitchen. They didn't know James was listening. And they were talking about how are we going to afford to be able to send James to college. Things are tough in the Worthy family. James heard that and made the commitment that moment. I'm going to go out and I am going to earn a basketball scholarship. So he went from an uninspired, kind of aimless, wandering person to having motivation and inspiration, dedication, determination, and he earned that college basketball scholarship to University of North Carolina, playing for Dean Smith with Michael Jordan, with Sam Perkins, became a champion, became the #1 draft pick in the NBA, went on to multi-championships with the Lakers, NBA's all-time team, just a fantastic player, more importantly, a better human being. Now living in Southern California here, living the dream, celebrating the greatness of the world of basketball. We love James Worthy.
RJ
Is that what you were looking for?
Free throw line. That is exactly what I was looking for. And Carolina is looking to make some free throws here. They're 3 for 11 from the line in the first half.
Now, this is where missed free throws are important. You're down 14 and you've missed 8 free throws. My computer, like mine, tells me that this game would be a lot closer if those free throws had gone down. But Roy, always positive, always encouraging, just the kind of coach you're looking for. Is J.R. Reed still around? Remember when he was playing for North Carolina? And Charlotte Hornets star too, right?
And the Spurs too, I believe, right?
I don't know. I was stunned the other day to find out that 40% of the NBA changes teams every year now. Offensive foul here. Kai Jones, if this was a foul, ill-advised. We're going to have to take a second look at this. He's standing right there. That is not a foul on Kai Jones. He stood right there. If the other guy falls down,
ran into him.
Preemptive pardons for the refs.
Caleb Love, no.
Just missed. Oh my gosh. Offensive explosion. The cattle drive. Rawhide. Blues Brothers. Dan Aykroyd. John Belushi. Sing the songs of our own.
Lovely Maui. We hope to be back there next year. Matt Berry, Sean Farnham, Danny Manning. One last look at lovely Maui, where we hope to be next year for the Maui Invitational once again. But today we are in beautiful, resplendent Asheville, North Carolina, in Western North Carolina, as we welcome you back to the Camping World Maui Invitational and the championship game. He's Bill Walton in a kimono. I'm Jason Benetti.
Wow. You said one last look at Maui. You never want to have one last look. You want that to just be an eternal, an infinite look of Maui. And all the different scenery, all the different beautiful. But what we're doing right now is we're witnessing a superb performance of basketball by the Texas Longhorns, who have been spectacular from the outset of this game. They have controlled every aspect of it. Matt Coleman has been the guy that's getting it done as the lead player, but he's had tons of help. Andrew Jones, Courtney Ramey have been very productive. Greg Brown, yes, Jericho Sims. But the other guy on the front court has been Kai Jones, who has been strong, who's been powerful, and he's looked at the guys from North Carolina who come in with the great reputation and the great pedigree, and he's saying to them, I'm going to tell you how this is going to be. The same way that I have my skirt on from the Lahaina Luau, and we were dancing at the last time we were in Maui. So I always try to get some memorabilia, some mementos, the same way I brought home this beautiful sash from the stage at the foot of the Great Pyramids and the Sphinx back in 1978 when we went there on the journey of a lifetime. And now we're just filling in the second set right now.
This is Garrison Brooks for two.
Ankle is still an ankle.
That is good news for Garrison Brooks, as he had 7 in the first half, 9 total for North Carolina. Caleb Love just 1 for 6 in that first half, and Garrison Brooks clearly the high scorer for North Carolina as Ramey goes to work.
So a nice strategy by Shaka Smart. You know, let's shut down the other guys and let's see. Oh, beautiful pass over the top.
Baycott finishes from Davis.
Armando Baycott from Richmond, Virginia. How'd the Spiders ever let him get out of town?
You think they were in the same recruiting discussion as North Carolina?
I hope not. From North Carolina.
Nothing against Richmond, a great program.
No, some of my best friends are from Richmond, including one of the legends from the Michael Jordan adult basketball camp.
Baycott got the bucket. We have a whistle from Ted Valentine.
So we've got an injury here. This has been a tough day for Garrison Brooks. He's quickly coming into Dan Pastorini territory. Wonderful pass in transition.
We'll step aside. 40-34. North Carolina coming back.
R.J. Davis is playing a fabulous floor game. Thrown to the ground here. WWE, Greg Brown just taking the senior and say, explosive start for the North Carolina Tar Heels. Listening to their coach's game plan. Pounded inside. 6-0 start for North Carolina. First 85 seconds of the second half. Get it to the big guys inside. That's where your edge is. Chocolate Peanut Butter Love is not delivering as he has throughout the early rounds of this tournament. But with Garrison Brooks and Armando Baycott getting all 6 points here, we've got a real game, and it looks as if Texas thinks that this game is over. This is a partial score, and there's nothing more meaningless than a partial score of a game other than the final score of an exhibition game. This is a championship game. Camping World Maui Invitational in Asheville with 2 E's.
6 in a row for Carolina to open the half, and it's broken by Brown.
Greg Brown, this is the best I've ever seen him play. He's not only making baskets, but he's having an impact on how the game is being played out. And granted, he's just a freshman. He's going to have a huge career.
O'Tayron Sharp just backed him in and got 2 and a foul.
I hope these referees have already applied for their preemptive pardons. I'm not quite sure how this is a foul on somebody who's just backing up out of the way. Somebody might want to hand them a rule book. So we're here in Asheville, right?
Yes.
And they got the Biltmore House, which is the largest private home in the world. And
that's right.
What's the derivation of the name of the house, the Biltmore House?
Tell us,
Ranger. Aren't you putting on the tours?
I am not a docent at the Biltmore House. Thank you for asking.
Okay, so the Vanderbilt family who put all the money into building the Biltmore House, they're from the Netherlands. And Bilt is the region where they're from, in the Netherlands. And then Moor is the word for rolling hills, which is what it's like there in Asheville. And right now, it's the North Carolina Tar Heels that are rolling. And Texas has 2 points out of the break. They're thinking this is over, and they're worried about their congratulatory speeches and their acceptance of the Most Valuable Player award. Please. There's 20 minutes to go here.
I believe Jericho Sims got hit on the other end. He is down.
Beautiful driving movement.
Love no. Rebound Ramey.
But Greg Brown right in on every play right now. Try to set something up for him. Drive the ball at his man. And then have him come in behind the play. Everybody's looking for their own play rather than to try to make something for somebody else. Happiness begins when selfishness ends. Whoa.
Brown rolled it out of bounds.
What's the record
Jones,
for the most number of dribbles taken on a play that leads to a turnover up against the shot clock when you're ahead by 4 and you've only scored 2 points in the second half of the championship game?
I think that was the record there by Andrew Jones, who was trying to get it to Jericho Sims and turned it over instead. Brock Cunningham back on the floor, who had an early 3 in the first half. And I mentioned his father, Ed, the former Texas lineman. Our colleague, Ed Cunningham, went to Washington. Ed, Brock's father, went to Texas. The offensive lineman. As Brown's arguing with
Clear that up for me. Clear that up for me before I lose my mind here on what's happening.
I got bad intel. There are 2 separate Ed Cunninghams. Oh, with Greg Brown you're talking about.
Greg Brown is getting the shaft here. I mean, this is like Zach Collins the other year in the Final Four.
With Gonzaga?
Yes. And the guy's just a superb player, a fantastic human being, and he got to play like 10 minutes and they fouled him out. He never even tried to foul once. And then the same was happening with Greg Brown right now. They're just making up these calls.
Down low, Royce Ham.
Can we get Bruce Hornsby to put on a? Can we get Bruce Hornsby to put on a justice benefit here? Beautiful play.
Kai Jones dragged down and fouled by Baycott.
Kai Jones has come to play here, but Texas has got 2 points in the second half. Please. It's a 40-minute game. Every possession. Let's go, Longhorns. There's food at the end of the trail.
And Water 2, ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is
Duke Cunningham Feast Week presented by Lowe's. Here we go, and it's been all North Carolina. They were down by an incalculable, immeasurable margin, but right now they are playing superb basketball, and Texas is waiting for somebody to come and show them the way to the Pisgah. But right now, they're being shown the door as Greg Brown has been benched because of impossible to describe fouls called against him. He's been taken out of this game in just one of the real travesties of justice in my lifetime.
Courtney Ramey hits the 3. The incalculable margin was 12 at halftime, 40-28 for Texas. North Carolina on the comeback trail big time here. Davis wanted the ball. Brooks got tied up and fouled.
So Garrison Brooks is so big and so strong. If he can learn from Akeem Olajuwon, from Kareem, that little hitch to the baseline when he's trying to create the space for himself, that'll give him momentum, that'll give him rhythm to get to his strong right-handed jump hook. And when you find yourself in times of trouble, listen to the music play. 3 songs here, all by Jerry. Bright Side of the Road, See What Love Can Do, and Waiting for a Miracle. And that's what I'm looking for right here. A fantastic finish of great basketball, not marred by officiating that cannot seem to see what's going on right in front of them.
Davis, no. Offensive rebound, Baycott, and a foul called. Hey, I thought when we found ourselves in times of trouble, Mother Mary came to us, not the Grateful Dead.
No, we find the music. You can't wait for the game of life to come to you. Please. That's like being a basketball player and waiting for the ball to bounce your way. No, man, you got to go get it. And the way you get it is by finding the rhythm. It's all about the rhythm. That's why you have to turn the music on all the time. But to watch the rhythm of these Tar Heels right now, that ability to just keep pounding away on the offensive glass. Baycott, Sharp, Brooks. We haven't even seen Kessler yet. He'll be out there soon, and that's always a good sign. Look forward to his development, just the freshman. Did we decide if it was Paul or Alfred E. where he's from?
Newman, Georgia, outside of Atlanta. It could be both. What us worry? Jones is fouled. It's V Week here on ESPN and the Jimmy V Classic Friday, 6:30 ESPN, 6:30 Eastern Time, 3:30 Pacific. It's going to be fantastic. DePaul, number 20 in the country. Louisville, number 5 in the country. They're fighting Allie Quigley's for the Blue Demons against the Louisville Cardinals. Oh,
throw it down
slam.
One time. Royce Ham, my goodness.
It's a ham slam. Well, we saw the technical foul against Zaire Williams for chinning up, which, by the way, I was told by J.D. Collins, the officiating guru for the NCAA, by email at halftime, that the chinning up on the rim is a Class B technical, so that does not go as a personal foul.
Okay, please have him call me, will you?
Okay, J.D., call Bill.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And get me the names of these refs. Oh, my God.
Baycott's going to the line.
The endless parade to the free throw line. Texas cannot believe it, but you've just got to ignore it. And you just got to somehow find a way to play through it. Now, how's that not a jump ball? He roofed him.
Yeah, but there was body down low is what I would say.
But please. Who's the referee you were just talking about? Is he your uncle?
J.D. Collins is the officiating coordinator for the NCAA.
See what love can do. Please.
We have all week.
No, I can't believe that we've gone this far into this tournament in North Carolina, celebrating the history of North Carolina basketball, and we have not spoken one bit about Billy Cunningham. Billy Cunningham, just one of the greatest. Played on so many spectacular teams, coached spectacular teams, businessman for spectacular teams. Offensive foul. Oh, my goodness.
I'm surprised we made it this far without talking about Thomas Wolfe, the novelist from Asheville, and you can't go home
this is
again.
not Thomas Wolfe from the electric Kool-Aid acid test. He was a PH guy, too. Thomas Wolfe, the guy who wrote about Atlanta, or the guy in Masters of the Universe.
There's a floater for Love. That won't go. And it's the rebound for Playtech in North Carolina.
I love Playtech's game.
Brooks missed. Ham clears the rebound. Royce Ham has played some sturdy minutes.
If Garrison Brooks would set up a little bit higher up on the block, he'd have a better angle to shoot that off the glass the way Tim Duncan always did.
So why doesn't he do that? Why doesn't that trigger in his mind?
Well, he's just getting started. He's a young guy, even though he's a senior. He's got excellent coaches there. He's got Sean May. He's got Hubert Brooks. Work your way up the lane, but when he turns and pivots, there's no real angle for him. He's too close to the baseline to use the board. The analytics, the numbers, they skyrocket when you use the board. Whoa. Oh, my God. Play of the
Coleman.
game. Matt Coleman, play of the tournament, individual play. How far away is Oak Hill from where we are in Asheville?
That's in Virginia.
That was Tiny Archibald right there. I'm talking about geographic distance. And what highway? I know that Interstate 40 runs right through Asheville. It starts in Barstow, where Merle Haggard used to play a lot, although Merle's from Bakersfield. And it goes to Wilmington, where Michael Jordan grew up. Michael was born in Brooklyn.
Liddell is fouled on the attack for Texas.
Okay, Texas is showing some signs of life right here. They're getting a new basketball arena there at Austin.
Yep,
Moody Foundation Moody Foundation putting in a whole lot of money. They're getting $140 million to build a brand new basketball and music facility there on campus. No public or school money involved, although it is on the school footprint.
It's supposed to be a big concert venue as well to go along with Texas basketball. Rainey missed. Ham another rebound. On the reload and a three for Coleman.
Maybe we can get Bruce Hornsby to open that building as well. I'll go to that.
A whistle on this end. Let's watch the Coleman three.
I love guys who get an offensive rebound and kick it back out.
Who was the best at that you've seen, or somebody that is very good at it?
A lot of guys. That guy who just did that right there. I mean, you see it so rarely because it seems as if the mindset is if you get an offensive rebound, you have to shoot it. I don't really get that. You can always shoot.
Texas trying to win its first ever Maui Invitational. Rainey step back, left it short, play tech the defense.
Interesting offensive possession there. One guy touched the ball the entire time.
Not what you're looking for.
Great defense. Jericho Sims.
Up by Love.
So how's Love coming along? I mean, he's got his team back in the game. He's played superbly throughout this tournament.
He's got his second basket, and an update, by the way, Corey Alexander has written in to tell you that Oak Hill's 2.5 hours away from Asheville.
Thank you, Corey, and don't shave your beard. Come on, go to change.org and sign the petition. Corey, don't shave, don't cut your hair, please. And that ability for these young players to have the ball in their hand and determine the fate of the known world and be able to write history here. UNC in the first half, they have 10 turnovers. In the second half, the Donut. I love donuts. Providence plays in the Dunkin' Donuts Center, but that company's been sold. Maybe they'll change that name at this point, but 0 turnovers for North Carolina. They've been able to claw their way back in there. It's just a spectacular performance. And the Texas offense has ground to a halt. Coleman, Jones, Ramey, they've got to come alive. The referees have taken Greg Brown out of this game, the way they took Zaire Williams out of the game last night against Stanford.
Even so, Coleman's been outstanding. He has 7 in the second half. It's Texas by 8 going for its first Maui Invitational Championship.
Okay, so they've weathered some storms here, but, you know, with the climate change that we're facing right now, the storms aren't going away, and so Texas better keep coming and just forget about the refs and just say, we're going to just score and score and score.
Well, 50 years ago today, this very day, December 2nd, the EPA opened its doors for the first time.
Thank goodness. Traveling violation. Okay. Who does that go against? Texas, the road team. Huh.
In the burnt orange.
An impartial judiciary. Never forget
the impartial judiciary.
There's been 27 amendments to the Constitution already. Beautiful play, Matt Coleman. Over the top. Excellent performance. If the tournament stopped this moment and the world just came to a frozen end, Matt Coleman would be the most outstanding player. And another call against the Longhorns.
That's 4 against Liddell. Matt Coleman, the budding cook, he's a chef, and he goes to the rim here.
Cooking it up. Now that's maybe the best play that he's made this tournament. Get to a spot, come to a stop, and get in the air. Beautiful basketball. More of that.
Free throw no good for Leaky Black. Second chance for Sharp down at the end line, and he scores.
Wow. Your man comes all the way across the lane on the other side. Who was on the near side for the Longhorns that time? It was like he was stirring the campfire instead of taking care of business.
Pinball's out of bounds. It's North Carolina basketball halfway through the second half. 8-point game.
Can North Carolina find a consistent offensive rhythm other than just their overwhelming dominance inside on the offensive glass?
Might be Caleb Love who gets him there. Young man who's been pretty quiet today after a strong game yesterday. This is Kerwin Walton, the freshman.
Haven't really noticed much of Caleb Love here today. I mean, we've seen a lot of excellent basketball from him. Number 11, Day'Ron Sharp has been in on literally every play. Now, is that Caleb Love right there?
That was hard. Caleb Love on the sideline, yep.
It's hard with the mask to see who it is.
He's the Missouri Player of the Year last year in basketball with the season cut short due to COVID-19. Ramey missed it for three, and Kai Jones over the back. That was a big shot missed by Ramey.
Oh my gosh.
You don't like the foul?
Just call it out of bounds. Shaka Smart is not going to sleep tonight. Okay, so that. Just let it to say out of bounds, North Carolina. Why saddle a guy with a foul? Where's Bob Delaney when you need him? Some common sense. This guy's got a lot more than common in his future.
Roy Williams compared Walker Kessler and his nose for rebounds to Tyler Hansborough, all-time leading scorer and rebounder at North Carolina.
I think Walker's got a very nice nose.
It was a
Tyler Hansborough. Wasn't Tyler Hansborough College Player of the Year?
He was.
Didn't he set records?
He did.
That still stand? Oh,
yes, indeed. Out of bounds to North Carolina.
And what's Tyler doing now?
I believe he's playing basketball somewhere, isn't he? Or is he done?
Maybe he's working at the Cherokee Center.
I don't think
maybe he's at the Cherokee Resort. That's where I want to go. That place is looking fine as can be. You ever been to any one of these First American resorts that they have around the country?
I've not, but I have been to Asheville. It's a wonderful place.
I'm coming back to Asheville. The land of the sky. Francis Tiernan created that saying, and to hear everybody who's been there, including Bruce Hornsby and Roy Williams, talking about it, I got to get there. Bring my bike.
Roy Williams, you're going to get on your bike and go all the way from California?
I'm going to bring my bike there. Now that's an excellent high-low there. That was Tim Duncan and David Robinson going back and forth.
Kessler for two. It's a 56-54 lead for Texas. Roy Williams, the Asheville native, hoping to win in his hometown as that three is no good for Texas. And here comes North Carolina down by 4.
All the momentum in favor of the Tar Heels. History, legacy, tradition, home court, big-time players, depth, size, strength. Whoa, great defensive play. Number 5, Royce Ham has been everywhere. You're trying to get the ball down low. You swing it over the top, just beautiful. Day'Ron Sharp has been superb in all aspects. I mean, the guy works so hard in every aspect of the game. Defense, passing, on the offensive glass. What more could you ask for a guy? I mean, he's one of those guys that makes teams work because he does the things that nobody else wants to do.
Brown, no, and a whistle on the rebound. He's the first Carolina player to have 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 blocks, 2 steals in a game. He did it yesterday, Sharp.
Give me those numbers again, please. Sounded like a zip code. Maui champions who gone on to win the national championships. Right now, UNC is completely in charge of the momentum by dominating the boards, but early on, North Carolina, time and time again, holding up the championship trophy in Maui and the NCAA championship later on. They're going for it all. North Carolina in 3rd place in the race to the Pisgah, the top for most championships in NCAA history. They have 6. They're 2 behind Kentucky, who's 3 behind UCLA.
There are the 4 titles, MVPs, Joseph Forte, Raymond Felton, Ty Lawson, Joel Berry. Texas, though, a 4-point lead, 56-52, under 8 to go.
Texas has to just be able to play some solid, straight-up man-to-man defense and quit relying on gimmicks or double teaming.
Davis the kick, Walton the miss. Offensive rebound, Garrison Brooks.
It would help to get a rebound, too.
Plus 14 on the boards for North Carolina, who was plus 20 yesterday against Stanford, 43-23.
Well, when you have the big, powerful front line, I mean, rebounding and field goal percentage are the critical stats. You can make something out of any statistic, but rebounds and if you can make a shot, those are the ones that really decide something.
Oh, Greg Brown just got called for his 4th foul, jockeying with Garrison Brooks.
Add this to the low-light reel of what not to do as an official. Speaking of lowlights, Jaka Smart cannot believe this. Speaking of lowlights, as they try to move on from this disaster, please. You ever tried to play basketball against Shaq or Dwight Howard? They're bigger and stronger than you are, and they're going to throw you out of the way. Well, let's just take a moment here and have some reflection for the passing of Rayford Johnson today in Los Angeles. One of the absolute legends in the world. All that he has done for so many years. Gave his life so that other people's dreams could come true. He's commemorated on the wall of life here today at our house, and will forevermore be remembered as one of the true pillars of greatness. Thank you, Rayford, for your life.
Texas by 1 here. This is Matt Coleman, who's fouled by Love. Going to see a lot of free throws down the stretch here, Bill.
My favorite. So Matt Coleman, he comes from a basketball family. His dad played at Newport News Apprentice School, a Division III school. He's currently the head coach at Bryant Stratton Junior College up in Virginia Beach, which I believe is where the Virginia Squires played, with Dr. J and George Gervin and Charlie Scott. It all rolls into one.
His brother Chase was a D1 player at Virginia, Matt Coleman. As Roy Williams has a timeout here, Texas by 1. Roy Williams back in his hometown where he grew up, TC Roberson High School. Hey, Saturday, noon Eastern on ABC and the ESPN app. Justin Fields, number 4, Ohio State, trying to play enough games to get into the Big Ten championship game. They'll take on Michigan State, who beat Northwestern just recently. Buckeyes and Spartans, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on ABC and the ESPN app.
With North Carolina surging to another championship in the Maui Invitational, first one in Asheville, but they've got the most Final Fours of anybody, with 20. They got 6 titles. They got 126 NCAA wins. I mean, this is one of the true legendary programs in the history of college basketball.
Roy Williams is very clear that he did not lobby to play this tournament in North Carolina, as Ramey knocks down the jumper and makes it a 3-point game for Texas.
Well, the people who put this tournament on, spectacular. All reports. Kemper Lesnick, Tom Baldessari, Dave Odom, all the people who just risked everything to come down here and make it spectacular, as was that spectacular drive.
58-57 in the lane. Ramey responds nicely for Texas.
The R.J. Davis on the North Carolina end, and then Ramey right back at him in a flurry of offensive productivity. Let's hope this continues. No whistles and made baskets. Now if we can just get the coaches to not call a timeout after a made basket, we'll all be better off.
One of your favorite occurrences in college basketball. We saw Texas do it earlier, up 14.
And it's been downhill for them ever since.
Oh, Coleman was seeking that step back the whole time.
It's like James Harden out there. How would you rank, rate, and compare James Harden beard with our Corey Alexander's beard?
I'd put Harden right behind Corey, who's right behind Santa Claus.
What about ZZ Top?
Oh, that's good. That's good. But neither of us has cheap sunglasses. Watch this again.
Going to your offhand. This is how you determine whether you can play or not. I mean, anybody can go to their strong hand. But this guy, Matt Coleman, who has literally done anything and everything to help his team's cause. Now, if they can survive if the course of history continues in this last however long it's going to take to play 5 minutes, as what's happened in the last couple of days here. I mean, if Texas can hold on and win this game, they're not going to do it by holding on. They're going to do it by playing great basketball. Matt Coleman is going to be the most valuable player of the Maui Invitational camping world.
Think about how much of our conversation with Matt Coleman was about his teammates. He talked a lot about the other guys in the backcourt and his front court dudes.
Beware of two things: people who talk about themselves all the time and people who want to deny you the right to vote.
And if they do both, don't talk to them at all. Coleman foul.
Are you old enough to remember that conversation we had with Matt Coleman?
I thought you were going to ask if I'm old enough to vote. Yes, I'm old enough for both.
Well, so the way because I had no idea who he was when he showed up on the Zoom. I thought we were waiting for Shaka Smart. I sure know who he is now. His role models, his heroes growing up: Allen Iverson, Chris Paul, Bruce Hornsby. He set us straight on Allen Iverson, one of my favorites.
That was an amazing story from game one. Matt Coleman talked to us about LeBron James and what he's like off the floor and the civic change he wants to create. Spin in the lane for Baycott, and he got mauled. Nice defense.
Did you ever see Steve James' movie, The Crossover, on Allen Iverson? Spectacular.
Never did.
Wonderful footwork down inside. Baycott. Tell you, the footwork, the moves, the creativity, the determination of this front court for the Tar Heels. Where are the Tar Heels projected to finish in the ACC, the most productive conference in the history of NBA draft?
Davis got fouled. He's going to the free throw line. They're supposed to be substantially better than last year and the under 500 record they had before the season ended.
We all hoped that we were better than last year, even yesterday. Isn't that sort of the goal in life? The ACC has had 271 first-round NBA draft picks, 20% of the entire total.
Davis' first free throw is good. One more to tie the ball game.
Are you old enough to have seen Billy Cunningham play basketball?
I am not live.
It's changed the game. I mean, this was in an era when Billy Cunningham and John Havlicek were coming off the bench. They both made the NBA's all-time team, and deservedly so. But Billy, a
leaning in, wanted
player,
contact, and it's going to be Texas ball. You were saying?
These were guys who came off the bench. made the Hall of Fame, determined the course of history, and had complete impact and control of the game. Billy, who played at North Carolina and then went on to a spectacular ABA and NBA career, executive career, business career. And was the coach when Dr. J was the MVP and the world champion. Never been greatness without a great coach. Who was the coach for Wilt's 2 championships in the NBA?
You asking me or yourself?
I don't talk to myself, except when I'm
That's not true. That is absolutely not true.
You're right, I'm guilty.
Ramey, no. Follow, no. Rebound for North Carolina. And a foul call.
The answer is Alex Hammond. Went to USC, played for Sam Barry, the inventor, the initiator of the triangle offense. But right now, a 1-point game in the championship. Let's go.
Let's do it.
Texas hanging on. North Carolina hasn't led since the early moments, but they are just pounding their backboard and rim, going to the hoop time and time again. Bigger, stronger, more physically gifted. Everybody, whether it's Kessler, whether it's Baycott, whether it's Sharp, whether it's Garrison Brooks. Not related, I'm told, to Garrison Keeler. But today, the second half here, wow, just tremendous field goal percentage. Free throws, it's been a parade for the Tar Heels. And Roy just standing there with the confidence and the poise and the competitive greatness, the faith and patience of one of the great champions ever. And what he has done in terms of carrying on the incredible legacy. One thing to have it for a little while. It's one thing to have it for a little while, but these guys in North Carolina, it's not just been one guy. It was Frank McGuire, it was Dean Smith, it was Bill Guthridge, now it's Roy Williams. And at 70 years old, he's showing no signs of slowing down, and the recruits just keep coming, and why not? You get the phone call from Michael Jordan. Oh, man, you got to throw that down, please, Kai Jones.
So now North Carolina was trailed by 16. What's that?
You ever been to that place at the Atlantis in the Bahamas in Nassau where the islands come right next to each other and you can just swim in place because of the current that's running through it? It's really special and magical.
I have not, but that was the Bahamian Kai Jones who had the defense for Texas in a tie ball game. We're moving down to 3 to play.
That's why I told that story. You know, it rolls into one.
It's a beautiful
synchro
segue.
Destiny. Please.
3 minutes to go. Andrew
Great
Jones.
rotating defense by Garrison Brooks.
He was right there with Kai Jones, denied him the 3. This is out of bounds. Off from Jones.
I'd like to see more give and goes. When your defender is leaning up on you and trying to pressure you, give it and go. And go there. And there being to the basket. And you'll get that ball back with a give and go. Not everything has to be done off your own dribble for yourself. Where's Johnny Davis when you need him? Great move.
Oh, beautiful by Garrison Brooks.
Best move of the tournament for Garrison Brooks. Coming alive, senior leadership. What kind of response are we going to get here from these Longhorns?
North Carolina's first lead since 15-13. Kai Jones ties it again.
An offensive flurry here. Seems like the Coyotes have come and scrambled the cattle drive. Have you figured out what a Tar Heel is?
North Carolina is the Tar Heel state.
Is that when you walk on the beach and then there's tar from the oil wells in the ocean?
I'll tell you what it is if we get to overtime.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
Well,
I want to go to overtime.
Baseline, no! Out of bounds. This is going to Texas, but North Carolina protests, and this will go to the monitor.
Okay, so if it does indeed go off of the Texas player, is there an over-the-back foul that was not called? Replays, my favorite. Here we go.
Let's see.
It's clear. Oh, that off the foot of the North Carolina player on the floor.
You think it might be off Davis?
Nurse, run it back. Who's the guy lying on the floor? Number 4.
R.J. Davis.
Yeah, okay. So the ball is going to go off his foot, out of bounds. That's Texas ball. Excellent job by the referee.
Do you think this is off Davis's foot here?
Yes.
I think he might have moved his foot.
What are you looking at? It goes off his foot. That's why it goes so much faster after it hits his foot. Did you ever study Galileo or Copernicus?
You're right. You're right.
Physics, gravity. I know we're in North Carolina where Michael Jordan proved that stuff doesn't exist.
This will be Texas basketball with 144.
Referee's right on top of the call. What more could you ask for? Tie game, a minute 44. The championship, the fate of the known world in the balance. Texas ball, full shot clock. Texas in the bonus, North Carolina. Oh man, have they had any fouls called on North Carolina?
A double bonus there too. Oh no, I'm sorry, 6 fouls. 6 fouls. Carolina's in the double bonus. Yes, 6 fouls.
That's what I was looking at. That's what I was asking.
You were right. Minute and a half to go.
You seem surprised.
Oh, I don't know if that's the proper read. Ramey with 10.
Okay, who's got some offense here?
Leaning in for Jones. No. Second chance. No. Rebound for Baycott in North Carolina.
Andrew, you can always pull it out.
North Carolina trying to win the Maui Invitational one more time, this time in Asheville. A minute to go in a tie ball game.
That would portend for an upcoming brilliant season for the Tar Heels.
Brooks,
great give and go opportunity. Whoa, just missed.
Caleb
the
Love
toughest
with a
rebound
wild
of
shot.
them all. But the toughest rebound of them all, the one that doesn't hit anything. Just ask Hakeem Olajuwon from the '83 championship game in Albuquerque.
Texas going to bring in Brock Cunningham for defense.
Hakeem at that point had very little basketball experience. Wow, again.
What are they going to say? Out of bounds? Let's see.
He was standing out of bounds. Brock Cunningham is when he touched the ball.
So they're going to put 1 second on the shot clock, I believe, is what I overheard one of the officials say there through our mic on the floor. Ted Valentine to the monitor, to the scorer's table to talk it over. 46.8, he'll put on the headset. Now the shot clock went off, Bill.
What was the shot clock on the inbound pass?
It was at 2.
It'll be at 1 then. Yeah, he stepped out of bounds when he touches it at 1. They'll put it at 1.
Good call.
That's what I've said all tournament long. The referees have been right on top of it. Standing out of bounds while touching the ball is a violation of the rules of human decency.
Moral justice. So they put the shot clock at 1. North Carolina will inbound it and has to rush up a shot with under 47 seconds to go.
If you're Texas, don't get back cut. The shot clock is your ally. The backboard's your ally. The baseline is your ally. The sideline, everything is in Texas's favor. Make North Carolina move away from the action to receive the ball. And if they make a spectacular play of Dr. J, Michael Jordan, Len Bias play, then you'll have to live with that and get it back. But give yourself a chance. Over the top.
Instead,
go. If you're Texas, don't wait.
Ramey ahead.
Down. Texas is right there. They've got a chance. They've survived every adversity known to man.
Oh, on the other end, too, for Black, no good.
Dig that ball out. Who can get a rebound? Oh, not another
Leaky Black
foul.
and a foul called. He'll go to the free throw line. Leaky Black, who had the game winner for North Carolina against Stanford yesterday. Shaka Smart can't believe it. 2 free throws coming.
This is not the first play that Shaka Smart can't believe. In transition, huge number, throw it down. Kai Jones, who's been tremendous. Royce Ham, number 5, has been tremendous. All these guys from Texas coming in, just doing whatever it takes. And these are Texas guys. Royce Ham from Houston, Greg Brown, Austin. These are names that came into play during that 1836 revolution there, led to the state of Texas.
Free throw good for Leaky Black. This is the 5th foul against Ham, Bill.
Closed out, bumped him with his chest, and Leaky was off balance to begin with.
2 for 2 for Leaky Black.
Beautiful.
Texas had 1 timeout, and Carolina now has 1 as well. UNC calls timeout, 1 remaining for each team. If you're Texas, all these Texas kids you were talking about, where do you go in this final possession?
Don't try to make your own play. I mean, Ramey and Coleman, very capable of doing that, but how about action? How about movement? Play for the last shot. Kill clock until there's 11 seconds to go, and then get into something. Keep everything in your end of the court, so that if you do miss this shot, if you don't convert on the second chance opportunity, if there is one, then at worst you're going to go to overtime. But a dribble handoff, a penetration and dish. The front court currently for Shaka Smart, these are more screeners, rebounders, defenders. The offensive creativity, Coleman, Jones, and Ramey. But have multiple players be involved in whatever it is you're going to get.
Could be the final possession. We'll see how long they tick it down. You said to 11 seconds. Tied at 67.
We want the ball in the air to decide history as the buzzer's going off. What more could you ask for?
Matt Coleman got a screen from Jones. He showed. Now 5. Coleman got to go. Coleman the step back.
Oh! Matt Coleman, he dribbled the entire time. There will be time left for North Carolina. Matt Coleman has been the best player. Oh, breaking the hearts of the faithful in North Carolina, in the land of the sky. The clouds have come over, but there still is a chance for the Tar Heels. He was the only one who touched the ball. He made a play like this earlier in the game, going to that step-back move with his left hand. He gets the soft touch. The soft touch that Bruce Hornsby has on the 88 keys. And with that step-back, James Harden in the land of the sky, the land of beards with Corey Alexander, James Harden, it has been Matt Coleman, who from the outset of this tournament has been the superb player. And now they just need one defensive stop. What will be the time determined by the referees as to how much is left?
It's at .1. He's been honing that step back all night long.
They're going to keep it at .1, so pressure the ball. Don't let the inbound passer have a good look. Haven't they learned anything from watching these games? Over the top, the long Dan Pastorini.
It's over!
Texas wins! Build another arena. The Moody Foundation. Look at how happy they all are, and look at how sad and disappointed. What a game, what a tournament. You can't ask for more. This has been superb. Justice prevails. First title in program history in Maui's 37 years. Wow. Kevin Durant, Rick Barnes, LaMarcus Aldridge. The celebration is underway. Michael Dell, Janis Joplin, Willie Nelson, Stevie Ray Vaughan. Look at how happy Look at all the happy people dancing on the lawn, please.
Our play of the game driven by Continental Tire with all those happy Longhorns because of Matt Coleman.
Wow, the reprieve. Continental with the comfort ride. This is playing it as close as you can possibly get. One for the record books. Forevermore, I will be able to say, I was there. I was there in Asheville when Matt Coleman, the son of a coach, the older brother of another player, from Norfolk, from Oak Hill with Steve Smith, and now, oh, the pile on. Look at how happy they all are. That's the value of sports.
Our Tommy Bahama player of the game, that young man, Matt Coleman, who is such a genuine team player at the point guard spot, got it done with the final shot. And what a journey this tournament has been, from Maui to Asheville and Austin, the center of it all now.
A massive shoe collector, mostly tennis shoes. And Andrea Hootie, who has come down from Kansas, where she did a magnificent job, where she came before that from UConn, and now she's got these guys at the level where they're never tired. Wow.
Bill, what a trip this has been. Thank you for sharing it with me.
And the long, strange trip. Look at how happy they are. This is why we play. This is why we go there. This is standing under the waterfalls. This is looking for rainbows. This is falling leaves on your shoulder. This is Maui. This is plating for change. This is Tommy Bahama. I love this game. I love being alive. Thank you, Ranger. Take us home.
Sports Center's next. Sage Steele, Kevin NcaaAF.